Hello friends and family. It's Saturday. Welcome to hashtag Garden Tour Saturday 2023 and hashtag let's share our plant success or disaster stories. Today's tour is going to be aimed towards the celery patch that I have. But let's see what's going on out here. It's been raining for the last 3 days and the sunflower heads are drooping. That's okay. It's the end of the season and that's what happens. The weather starts changing the garden, but I really cannot even look at a sunflower head anymore the same. Since I saw Lisa's video from growing on Vancouver Island, where she eats a whole sunflower head. So now I can't look at a sunflower head without wondering if I could eat one. I'm not going to do that today. But as you see, these sunflowers are on their way out. Oh, that one's really broken there. We've had some crazy weather. Here's another one. Okay, and the zinnias are doing beautiful. I do have to remember to deadhead them because there's plenty of time for more blooms, as you see. Here, there's some more blooms. So I do have to deadhead these to encourage the blooms. So the tomato garden is also on its way out, or it's been out. I am going to be pulling some plants in this aisle today because, like this Boston pickling cucumber growing here, I'm going to plant more more cucumbers down this row for the fall garden. But I do see I have some harvesting to do, so I'm gonna pick some of those tomatoes first. And look at these bonnies. Beautiful. Okay, backing up a bit, this bonnie plant looks really healthy. There is something on here that I'm going to wait to see if it starts turning color. And I'll pull that. But behind this tomato plant, on the other side, is my celery. So let's go talk about the celery. Okay, I'm just coming around the garden. This is the herb garden gone wild. I still love it. Okay, and then I have this little extended area I made, I don't know, early in the season or late season last year, I can't remember. I think it was early the season this year. But over here I have the comfrey first year growing, and it really is doing beautifully. It's flowering. So I think I'm going to let the roots establish a little more before I start chopping and dropping that or putting it in a tea of some kind for the plants. I'm just going to see if it makes it through the winter, and I'm sure it will, but hopefully the roots get stronger there. Next to the comfrey is the lemon balm mandarina. It's doing beautifully. I'm going to harvest some more of that. It's good for teas. And then here is the celery that I have going here, holy basil, and the celeriac. This celery you grow for the root, and I love making cream of celery soup with this. Just delicious. And here I have another holy basil, that's the Thai holy basil. Behind that I have some more zinnias growing. And I have some more Spanish eye vines coming up. Now, I put these little things around them to keep the critters away and give little seedlings a chance. But it doesn't seem to be bothering it, so I leave that there. So this is the celery bed here. But there's something I want to show you. So the celery's doing good. This is tall Utah, not very tall at all. These are about 9 inches high, but they're doing good, and I always have a problem growing celery. This is the first time it's in this area. It's doing good. It's growing. I can harvest the little skinny stalks and they taste like celery, and I do that. They're like cut and come again. But I have 2 plants out of 15 that have this leaf issue going on. Just the 2. And I've noticed this a little earlier when they were growing, and I didn't pull them. I kept meaning to investigate on what the situation was. I'm finally getting around to it. But this is called Celery Anthracnose, aka leaf curl. So you see that? That is a celery disease. Okay, so how does this happen? Apparently, when you have a long, warm, wet season, or a wet period of time, this disease happens. Okay, it could get worse. It could get slimy and black rot of the celery hearts, but most of all, you get the curly leaf. You would also get like rot on the stem, but I don't see that here. I just have the curly leaf. These are just things. Okay, I don't see any rot. You can cut off the leaves, but I am going to pull these 2 out. The others are not affected. So it's a crack in the stem, it's the curly leaves, the twisting of the leaves, or slimy black rot of the celery hearts. And I'll put some pictures in that I found online here. And what may have happened that caused this is overhead irrigation. And yes, this is where I do place the sprinkler to get this outer garden. So some considerations is to minimize the overhead watering and consider a rotation, which this is the first year it's been here, but I will not put them here again next year. Don't plant near garlic or strawberries. And the funny thing is, this is where I used to have the strawberry bed. There are varieties out there that are less susceptible to this disease. And there are varieties that are highly susceptible to this disease. Now these are tall Utahs, and they're not on any of those lists. But I am going to look at the least susceptible variety, which probably will be Marengo or something like that. You could easily Google other varieties. Okay, and my other thought about this garden and everything I grew in this area. You see right now it's shady here. It's in the morning. And that's when the dew is on the plants. That's when I water early and the leaves are all wet. And the sun doesn't quite get to this area here. It gets to the tomatoes. But then the tomatoes has blocked my basil that I had in these pots. So that was not good planning. The blight hit the basil because the basil leaves never got dried off from the morning sun, from the night dew or rain. So I have to rethink this garden completely when it comes to the sun drying the leaves to avoid some obvious diseases this garden is getting. So thank you guys for visiting today and joining me on this Garden Tour Saturday 2023, hosted by Grandma Sandy, and for joining me for the other collaboration with Janita BF Well Wishes Garden on hashtag Let's Share Our Plant Success or Disaster Stories. So on that note, I'm going to end this video looking at my beautiful phlox in the bee garden.